to start off, as usual, just say and spell your first and last name, what your role is with the police department.
Sure. My name is Robert Reffett. I'm the Deputy Chief of the Rockford Police Department. My last name is Reffett.
Can you just talk a bit about what's going on, the basics that you know?
Sure. At about 7:47 this evening, our officers got a call of a domestic disturbance here in the 4400 block of St. Anne's Way. Upon the original dispatch call, said that a mother and her son were fighting and that the son was tearing up the house. Upon the officer's arrival, the son had left the house in a vehicle. Officers were talking to the residents of the house. Initially, it appears from our initial information is that it appears that the 17-year-old, when he left, he went down to Spring Creek in Alpine, was involved in an accident down there. We are still have to confirm that and are working on that currently. As the officers were investigating the call at the house, they heard a loud crash in the basement of the residence, which was like a living area with a kitchenette. The officers went down into the basement to see what the crash was. They were followed down by the mother and the grandmother of the residents. When they reached the basement, they encountered the juvenile suspect. The suspect had 2 knives on him and started approaching the officers and the family members. And at that time, one of our officers discharged his weapon, what we believe is once at this time, and also a taser was deployed. Immediately started rendering first aid, called for fire rescue. He was transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries at this time, at least as far as we know. The officers were unharmed, the family members were unharmed. This investigation has been turned over to the Integrity Task Force at this time, and they'll be investigating the incident.
And you said it was just between the one officer and that 17-year-old, and you said the 17-year-old, just to confirm, is the one that is in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries at the moment?
Yes.
How many people lived in the house at the time?
From what we believe at this time, 4.
Okay. Let's see. I guess what would you encourage, I guess, in this situation where if you were to hear a dispute or something like that, just what people should do safety-wise, either if they're the ones involved or if they are, around and they hear disturbance that they don't think is normal?
It's always best to, call the police. We can respond to any type of incident, and whether it's something minor or if it's something, to the other extreme, we can handle anything. But it's best to give us a phone call, try to diffuse the situation as much as possible until we get there, and we'll handle it from there.
Chief, is that officer on administrative leave now?
The 2 officers will both be placed on administrative leave for 3 days and pending the investigation.
Okay, and then their names would be released from the Integrity Task Force or the...
Yes.
Okay.
So there were 2 officers that were involved in there, but only one of them... Oh, but sorry, it was that one kid. Okay.
Yeah, just one.
Do you know how long the 2 officers served on the force for, or would that be released?
Yeah, not offhand.
Okay, perfect.
Do you know what this disturbance was about, or the harm that was done in the house?
It's all still under investigation, so we're still piecing everything together on what led to the initial phone call for us.
Okay. Anything else that's worth mentioning?
No, I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you so